morning, students. In the last session, we have learned how transportation occurs in human beings. Now, let us learn how transportation occurs in plants. Transportation plants. Plants are having lesser complexity in their structural organization than compared to animals. In class 9, we have learned that the complexity of structural organization is lesser in plants than in animals. That is the reason they have got very common type of mode of living among all plants, unlike in animals. In animals, different modes of living are there. In plants, there is a common mode of living. It is they synthesize the food on their own by photosynthesis process, and they construct the remaining biomolecules by absorbing the mineral nutrients from their nearby surroundings. We all know that the carbon dioxide that is needed for photosynthesis is absorbed by the plants through the tiny pores in the leaves, which we call stomata. And water which is needed for photosynthesis is absorbed through the roots. By using carbon dioxide and water, the plants synthesize only carbohydrates, which are stored in the form of starch. What about other biomolecules? How the plants synthesize them? Other biomolecules, which include proteins, lipids, and nucleic acids, are synthesized by using various mineral nutrients and the energy that is produced from the oxidation of the carbohydrates that are synthesized by photosynthesis. So, how these mineral nutrients are absorbed? For plants, soil is the nearest source of raw materials like nitrogen, phosphorus, potassium, magnesium, zinc, etc. We have learned in class 9 that from the chapter Improvement in Food Resources, plants require several macronutrients and micronutrients. So among these macronutrients, apart from carbon, nitrogen, oxygen, remaining nutrients like nitrogen, phosphorus, potassium, calcium, magnesium, sulfur, all these things are absorbed from the soil through the roots. So, soil is the nearest source of raw materials for all the mineral nutrients. And the absorption of these mineral nutrients occurs by the roots, because roots are the contacting parts of the plant with the soil. Roots are the contacting parts of the plant with the soil. Here there is a question. Why energy and raw materials cannot easily diffuse? Why energy and raw materials cannot easily diffuse to all parts of the plant body? Diffusion basically occurs over short distances. By means of diffusion, the transportation cannot take place over longer distances. By means of diffusion, the transportation of various substances occurs only over short distances, but not longer distances. So here there are two important parts in the plants: soil contacting parts, chlorophyll containing parts. The soil contacting part is the root. The soil contacting part is the root. And the chlorophyll containing parts are leaves which are present on the stem. So, in a large size plant body, if you look at, or even small size plant body also, if you look at, the distances between the soil contacting part of the plant and the chlorophyll containing organ of the plant. If it is small, no problem. The substances can easily diffuse all over the plant body by means of diffusion. But are these distances are small enough so that the substances can easily transported all over the plant body by means of diffusion itself? No. These distances between soil contacting organs and chlorophyll containing parts of the plant body are large enough. So only by means of diffusion itself, the transportation of materials cannot take place. So, a proper system of transportation is essential even in the plant body also. We have discussed regarding the transport of respiratory gases from lungs to the toe in our body. If it has to occur by means of diffusion itself, it will take around 3 years of time, but within which the person itself may die. So only a system of transportation is there or existing in the human body. In the same way, as the distances are large enough, a system of transportation, a proper system of transportation is present. It is essential and it is present in the plant body also. In the plant body, large amount of tissues are dead tissues, more of dead tissues. So that these dead tissues do not need much energy, or they don't need energy. Okay. So, because of the presence of more amount of dead tissues, plants have low energy needs. So only the transportation systems are not fast enough. Plants use slow transportation systems. Why plants use slow transportation systems? Because more dead tissues are present in the plant body, with which plants have low energy demands. As plants have low energy demands, they are using slow transportation systems. The plant transport systems mainly transport. Here we have discussed two parts: soil contacting part and chlorophyll containing part. So they transport the materials from these parts from one to each other only. So the plant transport systems transport the energy stores, that is carbohydrates, which are synthesized in the leaves, and the raw materials that are absorbed from the roots. The plant transport systems transport the energy stores from the leaves and the raw materials which are absorbed from the roots. These are the materials that are transported by the plant transport systems. Transporting water and raw materials, it is done by xylem. Transporting water and raw materials, it is done or it is carried out by xylem. From which part? From roots. Transporting energy stores or the photosynthetic products, it is carried out by phloem. From which part? From chlorophyll containing parts, that is leaves. Right. Now, in this session, let us discuss about the transport of water and minerals. In class 9th, we have learnt about the complex permanent tissues of the plant, xylem and phloem. Xylem contains 4 types of elements in it. They are vessels, tracheids, xylem fibers and xylem parenchyma. Here the vessels and tracheids are the major elements of water and mineral transport. What do they do? The vessels and tracheids of xylem, they form a continuous system of water conducting channel. They form a continuous system of water conducting channel. From which part to which part? From roots, stem and leaves. A continuous system of water conducting channels is formed by vessels and tracheids of roots, stem and leaves. Okay. So how this transportation occurs? At the roots cells which are in contact with the soil. Here the first operation is carried out. What is that? Absorption of mineral ions, not water. At the roots, first absorption of mineral ions is carried out by active transport method. Active transport method means by using energy, by spending some amount of energy, and through ion channels from the soil, through ion channels of the root cells, in an active transport method means by spending energy, mineral ions are taken up into the cells. As mineral ions are taken up into the cells, inside the root cells, hypertonic environment is created, and outside the root cells, in the soil environment, hypotonic environment is created. Water always moves from hypotonic environment to hypertonic environment. So from where to where water moves now? Water moves from soil into root cells after mineral ions are taken up into the root cells in an active transport method. So as mineral ions are taken up by root cells in an active transport method, concentration difference of ions is created between the soil environment and inside of the root cells, which has in turn created hypertonic condition inside the root cells and hypotonic condition in the soil environment. So water gets endosmosized into the root cells. Okay, so concentration of ions increases inside the root cells than the surroundings, the soil environment. To remove this difference, water flows into the root cells by endosmosis. Okay, so water gets endosmosized or water moves inside the root cells. Okay, this continuous movement of water into the root cells creates this continuous movement or steady movement of water into the root cells creates a continuous column of water. Okay, in this water conducting channel, a continuous column of water is created, and it is keep getting pushed upwards. It is keep getting pushed upwards as water keeps entering into the root cells. In this continuous column, water conducting channels are created. In that, water is keep getting pushed upwards. So from where the water is getting pushed upwards from the roots, this phenomenon is called root pressure. This phenomenon is called root pressure. What is root pressure? The continuous upliftment or pushing of water from the roots into the steady column which is created by the xylem vessels and tracheids at the roots is called root pressure. Now coming to, but with this root pressure itself, will water move up completely to the top of the plant body? As a young plant, maybe it is possible, but as the plant keeps growing and becomes tall, this root pressure alone is not sufficient enough. It is not sufficient enough to push the water completely to the top of the plant body. Then what is the other mechanism or what is the other strategy that is used by the plants in order the water being pulled upwards? Water is pushed upwards at the roots by root pressure. So from the top there is another mechanism that is operating is pulling mechanism, water pulling mechanism. How water is being pulled? As a young plant, steady column has been created until the leaves because the length is small. By root pressure itself, the continuous column is created in the xylem vessels and tracklings. So at the leaves, transpiration takes place. Transpiration takes place. What is transpiration? The loss of water through the aerial parts of the plant body in the form of water vapor is called transpiration. This transpiration mainly occurs through stomata. The transpiration which is causing the evaporation of water at the leaf cells, this transpiration creates a suction, a pulling effect, like how from a pipe we can pull the water. In the same way, as water is keep moving out in the form of water vapor through the stomata, a suction is created over the water column in the xylem vessels, which will pull the water up. This phenomenon is called transpirational pull. What is transpirational pull? The pulling of water out, okay, by means of transpiration from the xylem vessels is known as transpirational pull. Thus, both root pressure and transpirational pull together continuously transport the water from roots to top of the plant body. Okay. During the night time, transpiration cannot take place because transpiration may take place but very less because light is not available, temperature is not much available. Because for transpiration to take place, temperature should be available enough. If it is not available in enough quantity, transpiration takes place very less. Okay. So during night time, the root pressure plays the key role in maintaining the water column in the xylem vessels. And during the daytime, transpiration occurs very actively. So the transpirational pull plays the role. It plays the role to maintain the water column or to transport the water in the xylem vessels. So during the night time, root pressure, and during the daytime, transpirational pull, they operate the transportation of water. In the next session, let us discuss how the food material, food stores that are synthesized in the chlorophyll containing organs are transported, okay, by phloem. Thank you.